One of the most underrated features of Claude is Claude Skills. We've gotten to a point where AI models are really good. Whether you're using Claude or you're using ChatGPT, the model itself is undeniably good. But context still matters. And depending on the context that the model has will determine the quality of the results. Today we're diving into one of my favorite features of Claude, and that's Claude Skills. Have you ever noticed that you may have Claude perform a task for you and it comes out exactly how you wanted, but then the very next time you do it, it's completely different. It's like it forgot how you wanted it in the first place. Well, with Claude Skills, this solves that problem. In this video, I'm going to explain what Claude Skills are, I'm going to explain how they work, and I'm going to show you how to set one up yourself. So, what is Claude Skills? You can think of a skill as basically just a structured prompt for a specific task. So with skills, it's basically just a folder with a skill MD that defines your instructions, and then you can include reference files that may be useful to perform that task. It's basically just a one and done. You set up the folder structure exactly how you want, you write the instructions how you want, and then now every time you ask Claude to do a specific task, it knows exactly how you want it. Skills can contain 3 different types of content, and all 3 are loaded at different times. The first type of content in a skill is going to be metadata. So the metadata is basically just the name and then the description of the skill. Claude loads this metadata into the system prompt so that it's reading it every time that it performs an action. And basically, Claude is determining if they should call this skill or not to perform the task. Essentially, Claude knows the skill exists, but it doesn't read everything about it unless it needs to. The beauty about this is with this lightweight approach, you can create several skills without ever overfilling the context. The next type of content in a skill is going to be the skill MD. So this is basically the instructions for the skill. I would say that this is the heart of the skill. So this is where you're going to actually define the instructions, the guidance, procedures, however you want to direct Claude for your skill. This is where all that lives. And the third type of content for a skill is going to be resources. So resources can be several different things, but basically just additional references that you might find useful for Claude to read before performing a skill. So you can actually include actual code in your references, and Claude can execute this code on your behalf while performing the skill. One thing to note is skills are only available for paid customers. So you will need to have a pro, a max, a team, or an enterprise plan to be able to access skill. Also, if you are on the team or the enterprise plan, admins can actually deploy skills across the entire workspace. Now that you understand what a skill is, let's hop into the demo and I'm going to show you exactly how to build one for yourself. For this demo, I'm going to be creating a skill where Claude will build a budget report for my finances each month. To build this skill, I'm going to be using 3 different reference files, and I'll go over those in just a moment. And I also created a new project called Finance Analysts. I didn't really put any extra material in the project, so it's essentially just for this specific skill. So to begin with, let's just take a look at the reference files that I have. So I have 3 different reference files here. So the very first one is the category rules. So this is just defining how each category should be broken up in the actual budget report. Little tip, I actually had Claude create this MD file for me. So I just briefly explained some of the category rules that I want, and Claude created this MD file for me. So the other file is going to be the dashboard style. So this is just defining the theme, the typography that I want to use, the layout, different charts, stuff like that. And then the third reference file is going to be the actual metrics that I want to see. So total income, total spending, net savings, stuff like that. So what I did was I added these reference files inside the project folder that Claude created when I created a project. And I just put them in a reference folder. So you can see that all three of those reference files are right here. So I'm gonna paste in my prompt. So basically, we're just telling Claude to build a skill for us. So that's the power Claude has is all the features that's available inside the Claude desktop app can be created by Claude. You don't have to manually go and create the skill yourself. You just tell Claude what you want and Claude can build everything out for you. So basically we're just telling Claude here that we want you to build a Claude skill for a personal budget analysis. The skill should read a bank transaction CSV, which is located in the project folder with the month in the name. Categorize each transaction using my category rules, calculate my monthly metrics, and generate a self-contained interactive HTML dashboard. So I specifically want the dashboard to be interactive. If you ask Claude to just build you a dashboard, it typically is going to do that in Excel, which would be fine for most people. I just specifically like the look of a HTML chart, an HTML dashboard that's just more interactive. Here are the reference files already in the project folder under the reference folder. So we're just defining the reference files that we attached, and that way Claude knows what each one is. Now, I will tell you, that might even be a little overkill for the prompt because Claude can just open up the file itself and determine what that reference file is. So I just add that in there just for more context for the prompt. So that's pretty much everything we need. So we're gonna go ahead and run this prompt. All right, and just like that, the skill is now built. So let's take a look at what Claude built. Okay, so everything looks good to me. It's really descriptive actually, but so it looks good to me. So then all we have to do is click Save Skill. And now the skill is saved, and that's it. You've now built a skill in Claude. What we'll do now is we'll go ahead and prompt Claude to build us a budget analysis for April. Okay, so we're gonna say build a budget analysis for my April transactions. All right, and it looks like our dashboard is built. So we'll go ahead and open this up. And there you have it. Really beautiful dashboard that it built. So a bunch of details, has all the details that we asked for in the formatting. Looks exactly how we wanted. So just like that, you can build a skill yourself, and now all I have to do is ask it to run the analysis for me and it'll do it the same way every time. Skills are honestly probably the easiest thing you can do to level up how you use Claude. Start using these features in Claude. Get creative and see what Claude is really capable of. Drop in the comments below some of the skills that you've built or a skill that you may want to see built. And if you found this video useful, like and subscribe. I make AI content every week that I try to make relatable, whether you're an AI expert or you're just getting started. So that's all for this one, but I'll see you in the next video.